Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Why am I here? Well, that's a question. That's a philosophical question. I don't mean why am I here in this world, in this life. I mean, why am I here in this radio studio? Well, I'm here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Hey, Cliff, good morning, buddy. How are you? Always appreciate you joining us. You're always here. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. Here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, which will air on 32 stations across the great state of Michigan. Sucking down coffee this morning. Joel, good morning. How are you? Hello, Tim. Look forward to seeing you and Jen tonight. You're still showing up tonight, Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack Restaurant. We will be live tonight at 7 o'clock. We had some last-minute cancellations. I was talking to Emil Rousseau of the Lumberjack, the Forward Corporation Lumberjack Restaurant. He said we had a couple of last-minute cancellations. As a result, we do have a couple of openings for tonight's show. If you're interested in joining us, I would love to see you. 989-343-0892 for reservations. 989-343-0892 for reservations. Cliff, you are always the first. I can't remember anybody beating you to make your comments. Tim will be there. Jen will be there. I look forward to seeing you guys tonight. Jim's going to be there tonight as well. Tony's going to be there tonight, along with Randy. I look forward to seeing you guys tonight. Hello, Ruben. How are things in Colorado? Ruben's in Colorado. He's probably going to not going to make it to Wednesday Night Live tonight, but that's understandable. Good morning. How are you? Hey, Mike, nice to have you. Mike, I don't recognize your name. So I'm glad to have you along with us. Haven't seen you before that I remember, so thanks for checking in. Mark, good morning. How are you? Uncle Johnny, Uncle Johnny, I will see you tonight and your bride, Debbie, at Wednesday Night Live. We go live at 7. Tim says he likes that they call for reservations. We do to call to confirm. And the way this process works is you call 989-343-0892 for reservations, and then the Lumberjack calls back a couple of days before the event to confirm that you can still make it. I like that, too. I think it's a good system. Bruce, good morning, buddy. How are you? Paul is checking in from the turkey blind. We got to be quiet because Paul is turkey hunting. Good luck, Paul. Hope you get your long beard this morning, buddy. Hey, Matthew, how are you? Laurel, good morning. How are you? Rocky's got to miss tonight's event. Doggone it, Rocky. You still got a cool name, though, Rocky. I'll give you that. I personally have not been out turkey hunting yet, and I love to turkey hunt. That'll start probably this weekend. We had a busy Easter weekend. It was a wonderful Easter weekend. We had family over. We had family in town. My newest grandson, Bodie, spent a few days with us, and it was wonderful. But I am reminded why young people have babies because it's exhausting. And he's a good baby. But it's exhausting. But it's wonderful. Tim says some very nice turkeys being taken. Yeah, I love to post pictures. I love to post your pictures, whether they're turkeys or fishing or deer hunting, whatever, or bear hunting. But I do love to post your turkey pictures. Hey, a request. Please don't send me those pictures in a social media message. Don't send me a Facebook message. Don't send me an Instagram message. Just get them to me the old-fashioned way. Send me an email. And it's funny that we call email old-fashioned. If you have something you want me to share, please email it to me. Send me an old-fashioned email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Kathy, good morning. How are you? Hey, Craig. Did you enjoy your Michigan brand ham? Speaking of Michigan brand, Nick Grillo of Michigan brand will be with us tonight at the Lumberjack Restaurant. Mickey, see you tonight as well. Bill, good morning. How are you? Mickey, does that mean you'll see us in person or we'll see you online, virtually? Bill, good morning. How are you? Joining us tonight for Wednesday Night Live, in addition to our friends who are on here. Mr. Angler Quest, Brad Dupuis, will be with us. He's giving away an 8524 2025 Pro Troll with a deuce and a quarter Mercury motor. But you have to be at tonight's event to get in on that. Also, and Nick's wife, Lindsay, will be there too. No, okay. Mr. Angler Quest, Brad Dupuis, is giving away a Pro Troll. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats is going to be there with us, along with his wife, Lindsay. Nick is always very generous. He will be bringing some product to give away. Plus, Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle will be joining us, too. He's bringing some product to give away. I will be, let's see, I'm bringing up a Rapid River knife. We've also got a gift certificate to the West Branch Country Club. No blinds, no primal blinds. There's a story behind that. In person, Mickey, excellent. He's not new anymore. He's almost 7 months old, but gosh, God still does his gifts. Amen to that. Mickey, in person, outstanding. Craig says we sure did. Michigan Brand never disappoints. Michigan Brand never does disappoint. Cheryl, good morning. See, you picked up on that, Tim. Tim says, I'm holding Brad to that giveaway. I joke around about that joke around with Brad about that every time I have him at an event, that he's going to give away a boat. Sometime Brad's going to give away a boat. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know what event it's going to be at. He probably won't, and I don't blame him. Okay, so that's tonight at 7 o'clock. 989-343-0892. So, what's going on? This weekend, trout season opens statewide in the great state of Michigan. Walleye and pike season opens in the lower. If you're in the Yup, you're going to have to wait a couple of more weeks. Although I talked to a guy yesterday in the Keweenaw, he said they still have ice. Craig says, listen, if he's not going to give away a boat, he'll take an even up swap. And Craig has a beautiful family fish. Roger's tagged out on a turkey. Congrats, Roger. Did you send me a picture, Roger? Remind me. If not, please do. Mike at MikeyReOutdoors.com. Mike at MikeyReOutdoors.com. I will share your picture if I haven't already. Freeland Walleye Festival. Thank you, Roger. The Freeland Walleye Festival and Fishing and Walleye Tournament this weekend. Now, that Freeland Walleye Tournament goes back a long, long ways. If you're an old-timer in this area, you might remember the News 5 Outdoors Saginaw Bay Walleye Circuit that I had. We ran that for 2 years, and Freeland was the kickoff tournament of that circuit. Now, at the time, and how far back does this go? The Freeland Walleye Festival and Tournament was already in effect. And I remember the first year we did this, we did not specify where you could fish. We assumed it was in the river because very few people were fishing the bay yet. We had a team go out to the bay and absolutely kick butt. And so we had to actually award 2 first place prizes. So $2,000 checks. Tommy, good morning. How are you? James, good morning. Randy, good morning. Thank you, Roger. Larkin Township. No, Mike Larkin will get it to me. Okay, thank you. Gotcha, Roger. Now I understand what you're saying. I will be hopefully turkey hunting with my grandson Trent Saturday. It all depends on this. We're waiting to hunt my buddy Scott's property. In order to do that, Scott's brother has to get his bird first. He hasn't yet. Hopefully he will by Saturday. Today's just a busy day. Behind the mic, record the radio show. Then my grandson Carter is shooting trap this afternoon. We're going to stop by there on our way to West Branch to Wednesday Night Live. And then when we get back from that, think I'm gonna rest for a little while. Jerry checking in from Algonac. How are you? Corey, I saw you and Mike Smith going back and forth, your neighbors. TJ, how are you? You got to love a guy named TJ Huey. I think that's a cool name. Just about as cool as Rocky. When my daughter Shelby was born, when I thought she was going to be a boy, she was going to be either Rock, Stone, or Buck. Kevin, good morning. How are you? Hey, Kevin, what do you think of this whole, well, I know what you think of it. The fact that the NRC did not take any action, the fact that MUCC is pissed off enough that they're rattling NRC's cage. If you go to mucc.org/Coyote Coalition, you can sign an online petition to try to get the NRC's attention. Something's got to get their attention because they don't seem to be very plugged in or interested, or I don't know how to describe it. I personally am glad to see Becky Humphreys now on the NRC, the Natural Resources Commission. I think she will be a positive addition to that group, a group that desperately needs positive additions. There's Tyler right there. Tyler is with MUCC. He got his first bird opening morning. Tyler, I was just talking about this, and maybe it's coincidence that you made a comment, or maybe you'd been listening. Tyler is the PR guy for MUCC, mucc.org/Coyote Coalition. There ain't going to be no nap today. Maybe tomorrow. I am beyond frustrated with the NRC. And I can say whatever I want. The folks at MUCC have to be a little bit careful what they say because they have to deal in that environment. Now, I've asked the question publicly many times, is it time to get rid of the NRC? Because they're blatantly ineffective. Beyond that, they are blatantly disregarding Proposal G, calling for sound scientific wildlife management. Back in 1996, we fought very hard to get the citizens of Michigan to approve Proposal G. And when we did that, when that happened, I thought, okay, we're home free because nobody can screw around with it. Nobody can institute social science. Nobody can do what the NRC is doing and take into account the perception of what we as hunters are doing. How should that be a factor? The perception of what we're doing. So I'm saying we got to do something to get their attention. I said, should we go another route? And the folks at MUCC said, no, we don't want. Look at the other two routes are either let the DNR director make those decisions, and if you get a bad DNR director, we don't want to go down that road, or let the legislature do it. We don't want a bunch of politicians deciding our fish and game laws. So the Natural Resources Commission, even though those people are appointed by the governor, oh, God, there's got to be a better way than having the governor appoint them, especially this governor. Come on. But that's the system we have. And unfortunately, it's the best system out there. But we got to get their attention because they're not listening. mucc.org/Coyote Coalition. Also, mucc.org/golf to sign up for the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing. Friday, July 25th at the West Branch Country Club. Dave, good morning. How are you? TJ said he was dissatisfied. George, seems another lawsuit requesting sanctions might work. Why do we have to keep going that route? I'm not disagreeing, George, but why do we have to keep going this route? Tim, Gretch is on the way out, so no one's doing anything at NRC. Kevin, I understand why they didn't vote. It may have been a good thing, but he's disappointed why the steps weren't taken to make sure they did vote. And I get what you're saying, Kevin, that behind the scenes, maybe there weren't enough votes to pass it. But for crying out loud, how can you not have enough positive votes on the governing board for Michigan's natural resources? Morning, Danny. How are you? Jerry says, just go fishing. That's what I need. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Tim says, Tim says, I see no need for NRC when we already have a DNR. Larry, glad to see you're looking and feeling good. I'm feeling great. First time in Missouri. Excellent. Have fun. Robert, exactly. Tyler says, almost 2,000 people have signed on to the coalition with over 75,000 acres of private land being represented. We're on the right track. Thank you, Tyler, for doing that. Bill, good morning. How are you? This guy right here, Bill Lincoln, is the guy who suggested that we have a golf outing. So I have you to thank, Bill, and I do thank you. Jim, good morning. John says, amen. George says, here's an interesting question. Hey, Mike, why doesn't Ohio have DNR problems or Indiana? What is the answer, George? Help me out. Good morning, David. No, David, I was saying I have not even been turkey hunting yet. And the reason is my goal this year is to get my grandson Trent a bird. And we have a very long season. We've got ZZ, which runs for 6 weeks. So it's not like we got to get out there and get it done right now. And we had family obligations last weekend over Easter weekend. I tell you what, I hope, well, it shouldn't be for 7 years. I don't want to see another weekend that is Easter weekend and the turkey season opener, thank you, John, for several years. It's just too much going on. Jordan, legislative reform to the NRC is the key. We have 3 appointments. He says 3 appointments, 3 biologists, 3 elected outdoorsmen, 9 total. Reinforce Proposal G, in fact, that biological science and not social science is the foundation. Kevin, agreed. Josh Mapes, how are you? Craig said, I wonder if the feedback the NRC is getting is about 50-50, so no action is necessary. Gosh, I hope the feedback they're getting is not 50-50, but I think I know what you're saying, Craig. And maybe I'm being naive here because I'm thinking we as sportsmen and women who pay for conservation, who buy our licenses, maybe I'm assuming that they're listening to us. And Craig's saying, well, look it. I think Craig is saying, maybe the other side is making more noise than we are. And the NRC is listening to them. That would be a damn shame. Michael, good morning. How are you? They meet every month, Randy, and they meet at various stops around the state. Josh says, actually, it's 95.5, and they only care about the 5. Why? Why do they care about the 5%? Why should those 5% even have an input and a say? Gotcha, Craig. Ross, my good friend, I will see you tonight. I'm looking forward to it. The NRC, and look, I'm not trying to rag on these people personally, because other than Becky Humphreys and the chairman, who was a politician for many years, and I know him because he was a politician for many years, I wouldn't know the members of the NRC. And I'm sure that as individuals, the NRC members are good people. But as a whole, they're just not doing the job. Corey, I'll be on the D fishing this Thursday representing Outdoor Driven, taking veterans out for some Walters. Have fun, Corey. Mike will see us this evening. Mike, remind me, in person? Josh says, well, that's just my opinion, of course. We all have opinions, Josh. Jay is going to be there tonight. Jay Widerski of Surgeon for Tomorrow. Jay is he's actually on the radio show this week. I'm surprised nobody's going to say who's on the radio show this week. Here's who's on the radio show this week. Rob Miller, talks about springtime turkey hunting and the search for morel mushrooms. In our second hour, Jay Wadersky of Sturgeon for Tomorrow talks about their sturgeon guarding program. Paul Rogers of the DNR on fire prevention. And in our third hour, Dave Mull, the Yak Master, talks about talks about kayak fishing. I need some sleep. Mike will be there in person. George, gotta go. Maybe, all right. All right, my friends. Jonathan is telling me 30 seconds. All right, so anyway, I will be back tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live, but we'll be live at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. We had a couple of last-minute cancellations. There's still room, a little bit of room. If you'd like to join us, 989-343-0892, 989-343-0892. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. We're a regular Cape Canaveral here. Probably 6-ish, Ross. 6-ish. My grandson Carter is shooting trap today, so we want to go over and watch him. So 6-ish. Any word on my boat? My boat is an 8524 Pro Troll with a 2 1/4 Mercury motor. Any word on when I'm going to get it? Not yet. Looking forward to seeing you, Tim and Jen. All right, my friends, have a great day. You can stick around if you want as I record the first segment of the show, but I will see you tonight at 7 o'clock, either in person. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine Show. Here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan, and so glad to have you along with us. How are you? What are you up to? What have you done since we last talked? Last weekend. Have you had a chance to get outdoors? Have you had a chance to do anything fun? Have you had a chance to go fishing? Have you had a chance to go hunting? Have you had a chance to go morel mushroom picking? I haven't done any of those things. My last week has been tied up with very, very fun things, but not outdoor-related things. Of course, last weekend was Easter weekend, and I will tell you this. I really hope I don't see another weekend that is Easter weekend and the turkey season opener. Just too much to do. So in my case, we concentrated on family things. Church and family things, but family things. And I had my newest grandson, Bodie. We had him at the house along with his mom, Shelby, and his daddy, Aditya, at the house for a few days. And it was wonderful. He's such a good kid. But I'm reminded why young people have babies. It's a big job. It's exhausting, but it's a lot of fun. But I did not get a chance to get out turkey hunting. And you know I love turkey hunting, but I wasn't too concerned about it because I have Season ZZ, which is a very long season. It runs from April 19th into, I think, the first weekend in June, certainly through May. And my goal this year is to introduce my grandson, Trent. Now, I talked about my grandson, Bodie. He's my youngest. He's almost 7 months old. And then there's Trent. He's my oldest. So I go from the youngest to the oldest. Trent's 23, and he's a hardcore hunter. And he has been out with me turkey hunting before, but when he was a little guy, and he was just sitting with me watching. He's a hardcore hunter, primarily a deer hunter. He has not taken a bird yet. So my goal for him is to get him a turkey this year. And he's pretty excited about it. He's borrowing my Mossberg 835 Ultimag that I got at Jay's for turkey hunting several years ago. He said, Grandpa, should I use my bow or should I use a gun? I said, look, your first turkey hunt, use a shotgun. Use a shotgun. Get that first bird down, then you can switch over to a bow. Because actually, turkey hunting the way I do it, out of a blind, over decoys, is perfect for archery. I mean, it's a perfect setup because you got, well, you know, you never know anything with turkey hunting, right? You hope that you can call a bird into your decoy or decoys, and that you hope that he will come in gobbling so you can be ready for him. And you hope that he will come in and puff up and strut up and start purring and gobbling and just putting on a show. And then you hope that while he's all strutted up, he will turn away from you so you can draw your bow. And then you hope that he will turn back around so you can get a broadside shot. A lot of turkey hunting is hoping. A lot of turkey hunting is frustration. But it's also excitement. It's anticipation. It's excitement. It's rewarding. It's addicting. And I'm really hoping, and here's the rub. Here's what's holding us up, too. We're hunting at my buddy Scott's place. Now, Scott has a fair number, well, he's actually got a lot of birds out there. And Scott has been very generous with allowing me access to his property, especially when it involves my grandkids. He said, look, man, if you're going to bring your grandkids out and bring them hunting, you can pretty much have the run of the place, which I appreciate. But we're waiting for his brother to get his bird. And by the time you hear this radio show, hopefully that will have happened, and I can get Trent out there and maybe get set up on a bird. And what I'm thinking we're going to do here, I don't know if we'll do an early morning hunt or if we'll just wait till, I don't know, mid-morning or maybe noonish to get out there, set up, put one decoy in a food plot, one feeding hen decoy in a food plot, and then set up in a blind on the edge of that food plot to ambush. I will call just a couple of times to see what mood the birds are in, to see if I can get a response. And I hope we can. I hope we do get a response. Because when you get a response, number one, it reaffirms in your mind that, okay, there are birds here. And I found it is a lot easier for me to stay patient if I know that there are birds in the area. If you get one of those days where you haven't seen a bird and there's no gobbling and they won't answer your calls and they won't respond to you, it's not only frustrating, but you start thinking, okay, is this the right setup? Is this the right place? Is this the right time? But for me, at least, when I hear the first gobble, it's like, okay, I got it. Even if he doesn't gobble when he's coming in, I have the reassurance that the bird is there. A bird is there, and maybe he's going to come in. I love turkey hunting. I love it. Looking forward to getting out there. I love also posting and sharing turkey hunting pictures. If you have been successful, and I've gotten a lot of pictures already so far this spring, a lot of pictures, and I want to share them, please, the best way to do that is the old-fashioned way. Send me an email, an old-fashioned email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Please don't send them to me in social media messages. I get inundated by social media messages, and Facebook a couple of years ago changed their process where it's not, I can't just automatically click on a couple of buttons and share your message, your post, your social media message. So I need you to please send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. It's interesting to see how people pose with turkeys, too. A turkey picture can be very, very impressive. But here's what I suggest. Get the bird up off the ground. Get it up on a stump. Get it up on a fence post. Get it up on a fence. Get it up off the air so you don't have to scrunch down behind it. It looks awkward. Get the bird up off the ground and then take those big, beautiful wings and spread them out. Get behind the bird and then grab that tail, that fan, and spread it out. Fan it out and stand behind that. Kneel behind that and then smile. It makes an absolutely beautiful picture. What else? Okay, so trout season opens this weekend statewide. Walleye season opens this weekend in the lower My Yooper friends are going to have to wait a little while for the opener of walleye and pike season. Turkey season is open statewide, the different seasons. Morel mushrooms are starting to show up in the southern part of the state. MUCC, their Coyote Coalition. We talked about this very briefly last week because it was just kicking off. MUCC is frustrated with the NRC. MUCC is Michigan United Conservation Clubs. NRC is Natural Resources Commission. I am very frustrated with our NRC. When they start making decisions on our hunting and fishing seasons or passions or activities that are not strictly based in sound scientific wildlife management practices, it gets me nervous and it gets me frustrated and it makes me mad. Because we, the citizens of Michigan, back in 1996, approved Proposal G. Proposal G, Prop G, called for sound scientific wildlife management practices. The NRC last spring decided to stop coyote hunting year-round in our state because they were worried about the perception, the image of hunting coyotes during the whelping season, the breeding season, the puppy season. Don't worry about that. Just make your decisions on sound scientific wildlife management practices. So MUCC said, look, we're going to get their attention. They started the Coyote Coalition. Go to mucc.org/Coyote Coalition. Sign the petition. Now you're going to say, what good do petitions do? Well, they do some good because they let the NRC know that we as hunters and anglers and shooters and trappers are not happy with them. We want to see them take the right action. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show after the break, Rob Miller joins me. You know Rob Miller as the guy who kind of started the deer tracking movement in Michigan, but he's also an avid turkey hunter, and he's a hardcore mushroom aficionado. We talk about morels. In hour number 2, Jay Woderski of Sturgeon for Tomorrow on their sturgeon guarding program and the success of just the sturgeon program in general. Then Paul Rogers from the DNR talks about wildfire prevention. And in hour number 3, it's the Yak Master, Dave Mull, on why he is so addicted to kayak fishing. And, of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. My name is Mike Avery. This show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is, once again, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I would love to hear from you. We'll take a break. So glad you're with us. Lots coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, have a good day. We'll see you tonight, hopefully in person, at Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack Restaurant. In the meantime, have a great day.